of Mangilao. My name is Ron McNinch, and tonight I'm continuing a set of forums with our young high school students. We're going to be talking about family tonight. This is part of the Imagine Guam project sponsored by the Governor's Office. This is an initiative to produce a strategic plan and visioning process to talk about Guam and what Guam's going to be like in the next 50 years. We've spent the last two nights talking to quite a number of young high school students live here on camera, and we'll be continuing that discussion tonight, and our topic is the family. So tonight we're going to talk about Guam's future and the values that build Guam's future. We're going to be talking about things that are important, and these things are going to be coming in right from our young students, and they're going to speak their minds. No one's cued them on what to say. So tonight we'll get to hear these opinions about our third topic, the family. And I'd like to invite our students on our panel tonight to introduce themselves. I'll start here to my left with, and I'd ask each student to please tell the viewers your name, the school you're representing, maybe which village you're from, who your parents are, and who you'd like to give a shout out to. So we'll start with Martin.
Hafide and good evening, Guam. My name is Martin Borja, and I'm from the beautiful village of Inarajan. I'm the youngest son of Madeline and Michael Borja. I'm from Southern High School, and I'm a member of the Island-wide Board of Governing Students. I would just like to start off with a quick shout out to all my supporters, mom, dad, grandparents, siblings, and the list goes on, so I'll leave it at that. Thank you, all my supporters.
Very good. Next is Rocco.
Happy holidays, Hafiday. My name is Rocco Flores. I'm the son of Philip and Karen Flores. I'm from the beautiful village of PD. I'd like to give a shout out to Noah Sablon and all the other contestants from last night, and the people who made that Visit Guam video that aired on break yesterday. I thought it was a really good video. I've lived here my whole life, and it made me want to visit. So that's it.
Very good. Next we'll have Ethan.
Good evening. My name is Ethan Camacho. I'm from Season High School. I'm a member of the Island Board of Governing Students. I am from the village of Barragata, and my mom is Vanessa Duenas, and my father, Eugene Camacho. Quick shout out to Season High School. This is for you guys.
Very good. Next we'll have Rochelle.
Good evening. My name is Rochelle Regadio. I'm from this Okuru High School. My parents are Lorna and Richard Regadio. I live in Mangilao, and I would like to give Señor Sablan a shout out.
Very good. Next we'll have Taylor.
Hafide. My name is Taylor Rosario. I'm from the village of Bosque Gardens, Zonia, and my parents are Cynthia Rosario and Manuelito Suarez. I come out of Southern High School, and just want to wish everyone a good day.
Very good. And to my right, we have Roby.
Hi, my name is Roby Romanes, and I'm representing Simon Sanchez High School. I'm from the village of Jigo, and my parents are Luz and Remo Romanes. And I just wanted to give a shout out to ProStar, SBA, and Legacy, which we're having a gift wrapping at the mall.
Very good. Next we have Gian.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gian Paras, and I'm the Student Body Association president of Simon Sanchez High School, of course, representing the Sharks. And I'm from the beautiful village of Jigo, and my parents are Chris and Elvira Paras. And a quick shout out to the Simon Sanchez High School Sharks. Go Sharks!
Wow, very good. Next we have Lazaro.
Merry Christmas. My name is Lazaro Canazza from the village of Umatic. I'm a senior at Father Duenas Memorial School. Shout out to my parents, Joe and Dolores Canazza, and all my family.
Very good. And finally, we have Juan.
Hi, I'm Juan Nicholas. I'm from Sinahanya. I'm the second son of Angelica and Juan Nicholas. I would also like to say that I'm from Father Duenas Memorial School. I'm a senior. I'm representing the National Honor Society of our school. And I would like to make a shout out to my teachers, my morality teacher, Mr. Alvia, my government teacher, Mr. Jameson. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. And thank you, students, for joining us tonight. And on behalf of the Governor's Office and the Imagine Guam Project, we're going to have a wonderful time discussing things tonight. So at this time, let's get started with tonight's questions. And I'll start here to my right with Roby. What do you define as a family? What's a family mean to you, Roby?
What a family means to me is the fact that no matter what bad I do, they'll always be there. They'll always love us unconditionally, show us so much affection, and that they'll never judge you because they have you, you know? I mean, they're our backbone. They're always there to lean on. They're just always there, and that's the kind of people that you want to surround yourself with.
Very good, thank you. Gian?
Some people might think that family would be like the normal traditional, just your father, your mother, and some children, but I still believe that family shouldn't just be blood related, and family is the people that you trust, support, and you just trust, support, and you're loyal to, and they give you unconditional love and support, and you give it back to them at the same time.
Very good. Lazaro?
For me, I think family is just basically the people that you love and support and trust. It could be people like your school family or your family at home, but just basically anybody that you share those feelings with.
Very good. Juan?
Well, in family, we have our conventional understandings of what it represents. Usually it represents a mother and a father and children. But family should not be limited to biological parents or whatnot. But it's any institution that expresses love. It's an institution that contributes to a person's morality or character and allows that person to contribute to society, which is a greater social institution than the family itself.
Thank you very much. And also to my left, let's start with Martin.
Yes, I agree. Family is not only your mother, your father, cousins, grandparents, aunts, uncles, but I do believe that it is far more beyond that. It's the people that you trust, the people that support you, the people that you support. As long as you do good to others and others do good unto you, I believe that that is the true meaning of family beyond our mother, our father, and all our loved ones as well.
Thank you. Rocco?
I think everyone's saying, something really well. I think everyone's right. Family isn't just your mother, your father. Your family is someone who cares for you. It isn't always blood related, because what's the difference between, how can someone, an auntie who you haven't seen for 10 years, be considered family when someone who's, been there your whole life but isn't blood related, not your family? So I think everyone's right. Family is someone who cares for you. It could be school family, friends family, WOM family. I think it's someone who loves you and is always there for you.
Very good. Ethan?
To add to all these good definitions of family, it is true. Family doesn't have to be a person that you're related to by blood. They can be anyone that is honest with you, compassionate, caring, all those adjectives that you can describe someone who you live your everyday life with. Someone that is not afraid to tell you what you're doing wrong. Someone that is not there to just be there and just tell you and lie to you about what you're really doing. Honest people are, to me, is the best family.
Very good. Rochelle?
I agree with everybody. So, family is the people that you care about, people you trust. They also care about you, and they love you no matter what you do. They always have your back.
Very good. Taylor?
To me, family is pretty much the people that have seen you at your worst and still think, you're the best, and people who encourage you, to go further and reach your goals and achieve your dreams. And to me, family is pretty much everyone that you let into your inner circle. And, well, it's pretty much everyone that you trust and you love, and as, everyone said. And I believe that family is pretty much the main thing that keeps everyone together, and that's the love and the trust, and it's just people that are always there for you no matter what.
Very good. Thank you. Very nice, insightful answers, students. So for our second question, we're going to start over with Juan on this end. What makes a family strong, Juan? What makes a family stick together and be strong?
Well, family requires everyone in the institution to be proactive in ensuring that their relationships are steadfast or secure with each other. The ultimate sign of success of the family is when they instill in you various values that make you who you are as a citizen to your society or a person in general. Your values, the people, your virtues, that's what makes a family great. in that sense. Thank you.
Very good. Lazaro?
I feel that what makes a family strong are like the virtues. If they share these common virtues like love, trust, loyalty, as long as each of them share that in equal amounts, not one person is giving more love than the other. If they all feel that same sense with one another, then that's really what makes a family tight.
Very good. Gian?
What I think makes a family strong is support, because everyone has to be there for each other, and even through their successes, but mostly during their failures. And you should be there to support one another and to just bring each other back up whenever someone's at their worst.
Okay. Roby?
Like I said earlier, family should be your backbone. It's like the foundation of everything. Basically, support. They support you in everything. They're your first teachers. They're always there to make everything better. Whenever you're having a worse day, they'll make it brighter, and so on and so forth. Just to sum things down, turns all the negatives to positives.
Very good. And let's start over on the other side over here with Taylor. Taylor, what makes a family strong?
Well, to me, it would be the will to continue to be there for each other no matter what happens. And it would be
Okay, very good. Rochelle?
I think what makes a family strong is knowing that you can trust them and knowing that you can always share a laugh, have a good time with each other, not always fight.
Very good. Ethan?
Communication. Communication is very important everywhere you go, especially with family members. Not only does communication help you guys have a better understanding of why you're doing this, or why is he doing this, why am I doing this. It just gives everyone the understanding of why everyone is doing what they're doing, and no arguments happen or nothing like that.
Very good. Rocco?
I think what makes a family strong is, because every family is going to have arguments, and your family isn't going to support everything you do. But I think what makes a family strong is even when you're arguing, and even after they don't support what you do, because your family does, if you're doing something wrong, like we said earlier, your family's going to tell you not to do that. They're not going to say, no, you're doing the right thing. They're going to tell you when you're messing up. So I think what makes a family is even though when you're making your mistakes and when you're arguing with them, and after that's all said and done, they still call you their family. And I think that's really what makes it so important. That's what makes a strong family. Just the fact that they're still willing to call you their family. Yeah.
Very good. And Martin?
Yes, in my opinion, the basic formula to an unbreakable family is, I have some components here. Communication. It's very important that a strong family has a strong amount of communication. Communicate with each other, communicate on a daily basis, and that is what I believe is a very important thing in family. You need to put down the social media. Of course, this is a form of communication for people overseas, but if you're just in the house, put down the phone, put down the social media, go outside, go to the garden, have a communication with your family and friends. Another formula for an unbreakable family is understanding. A family who understands you, a family that supports you, a family that loves you and is always there for you no matter what the circumstance is, and a family that pushes you to always do your best, and a family that never gives up on each other and never gives up on you. A family doesn't need luxuries, a family doesn't need money, but as long as a family understands each other, has great communication, believes in each other, and pushes each other, I believe that's an unbreakable family. A family that prays together, stays together, in my opinion.
Very good. So let's continue our discussion on family a little bit more. In general, we have a follow-up question, and we'll start over with Martin on our side over here. In terms of values, that is, things that we hold important, where is the family in things that we hold important? Martin?
I'm sorry, may you please repeat your question?
Where does family rank in your values system?
If I were to create a system of 1 to 10, family would definitely be 15. To me, family is everything. Without family, I won't be able to be the person I am today. I won't be able to be here. Family is something that is just so precious and so important to every child, and I do understand that some children don't have the opportunity to be with a great family, but I will continue to keep everyone in my prayers. And again, as I said, family to me, on a scale of 1 to 10, would definitely be exceedingly, it will be on top, and family is always number one for me.
Very good. Rocco?
Family definitely ranks at the top of my system, but I think, if I want to be honest, when I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking about, I'm thinking about like my grades, what I'm going to do. And I think that's what makes family so important, that I'm thinking about, extracurricular activities. I'm thinking about myself, how I'm going to get in college. And then I know when I fail, that's when I realize, my family still loves me. And I think even though family, I'm not always, thinking about what's best for the family, they're always there for me no matter what. So I'd have to say family, of course, is at the top of my value system.
Okay. Ethan?
Family, on a rank is probably the most important. It will be my top. As high school students, we tend to forget where we come from, and we get caught up in the busy schedules in high school, extracurricular activities, we have clubs, our grades, everything. The idea that we need to remember where we come from, because without our family, we wouldn't even be here in the first place.
Very good. Rochelle?
I would say God is first, then family is second, because family is really important. But every time I get the chance to talk to my family or go to them, I take it, no matter what.
Very good. Taylor?
Well, everyone's correct, but to me, family is on no ranking scale. To me, family will always be on top. Nothing can beat family. Family is so precious, and nothing can break family, because that's what makes them family. Nothing can tear you apart from them.
Very good. Roby?
I believe that my family will always be on top of everything, on top of everyone else, basically. They're my main priorities, although I don't tend to say it that much. I just hope they know that I will always love them and appreciate them, even though I don't say it as much. Yeah.
Very good. Gian?
I think family is the thing that I value the most, because, like they always say, family, no matter what happens, family will always be there for you in the end. My family is the one that instills in me the morals and values that I carry on today and will continue to carry on further when I grow up.
Very good. Lazaro?
Well, for me, number one on my value list is God. I always put him above all else. But number two is going to be family. When I decide on what to do, whether it's go to a family rosary or a school function, I will always pick a family rosary over that. Family's just always going to be one of my first priorities.
Very good. Juan?
Like Rochelle and Lazaro, I also value my faith as one of my top priorities, but family is also very up there in regards to my values. Family is the thing that made me who I am today, and sometimes when I get caught up in my own activities and my own agendas, I kind of forget who they made me today and all that.
Okay, very good. All right, let's continue our general discussion a little bit. In general, I think most of us agree family is very, very important, and family is at the foundation of our society, along with religion. I think religion also is a good, important point. But many families have domestic violence or family violence. Why? What do you think needs to? What do you think about family violence? Why do you think we have a high level of family violence here, or domestic violence? And let's start over with Taylor.
Well, to me, family violence happens because many people tend to care more about other things, like bad habits and some people can't control their bad habits, and so that's what makes them feel like whatever their bad habit is their family, and they don't see family like how we do. So like to people who consider them family, they don't consider them, as important as their own self. To me, people who are violent in their family, they don't see like beyond themselves. They're very selfish, and I feel like that shouldn't happen.
Okay, very good. Rochelle?
I think that family violence is high on Guam because of disrespect. When your family is telling you something, you sometimes ignore it, and it just causes a lot of drama and gets you in trouble and stuff.
Okay, Ethan?
Family violence, that does happen a lot on Guam. And really, from my perspective, it could be the lack of respect. It could be miscommunication. It could be the selfishness. A lot of factors come into play when it comes to family. And when it comes to family, you need to understand and communicate with each other and find out what are you guys doing, and reprioritize your values so we don't end up in a violent situation such as that.
Very good. Rocco?
I think it's a really good question. And it also kind of, if you can expand it, you can also ask, why is there so much fighting in like our schools? And why is there so much rape? Why is there so much just domestic violence in general on our island? Because we preach that, our island is so loving. We preach that our culture is the most, hospitable culture. But then you see these videos of kids beating each other up, not for anything, just to see blood. You hear these stories of families, hurting each other, and I think it's just because we forget what it means to be Chamorro, what it means to be Guamanian, and what our roots are from. Because island, we don't know what our original language sounded like. We don't know what the first Chamorro sounded like, but we do know that the island was founded on love and respect for one another, and I think we need to remember that. And I think we need, like my friend to the left was saying, that we need to communicate and we need to respect one another. We need to maybe raise our morals as Guamanians, as Chamorros, in order to stop this, because it's not acceptable, especially for an island like ours, where everyone is, friendly.
Okay, Martin?
I do believe that a factor that it has been a very contributive factor to family violence and domestic violence, I do believe, and I believe that it is money, drugs, and alcohol. Unfortunately, there is an abundance of money in the world, but the only family that you have is your family that's there with you. And I do believe that this is something that contributes to family violence because, this person doesn't have what the other person has, or the family doesn't have enough money to have a Lexus, or, the family doesn't have all the luxuries. But I believe that you can have all those luxuries in life, and it will always come and it will always be there. But the only family that you have is the one true family that you have. And family, life is short, and the only family that you have is a family that has been there for you. Money, drugs, and alcohol, all these things come, but I believe that the only thing that will stay is your family.
Thank you. Roby?
Some families just don't get along because not all share the same morals, not all share the same goals or beliefs. Some occasions, it's morally about lack of support. In some cases, such as love, affection, or whenever they need, the support from the parents is not there. And in other words, they just need to calm down and communicate and know that violence is never the answer, and that temporary happiness will also fade away, because when you're with your family, that should be the only happiness you should get.
Okay, Gian?
In my honest opinion, I think that the family violence is high on Guam. It's because, for example, us teens in this generation, we're very rebellious, disrespectful to our parents, and we're just very negative. And I think that we sometimes seem to overlook the true meaning of family. And now what we need to do now is just remember that family will be the only ones that will always be there for us.
Okay, Lazaro?
Well, I feel that family violence is really less of a family problem and more of an individual problem. As human beings, we're very emotional, and it's just how we display these emotions, how we let them out. That's how we do it. And so, violence is just another way that we express our emotions. So family violence could be easily resolved, especially on Guam, if we just learn things like compromise, sacrifice, learn to deal with our emotions in a much more peaceful way than just violence.
Very good. Juan?
Well, domestic violence mainly affects women and children, and I'd like to echo off what Martin said about alcohol and drugs and whatnot. But alcohol especially has become rooted into the culture of the local people. But there's another aspect of our culture in which many men, even Chamorro men, they seem to view the dignity of women in a different light. Women are often seen as subservient to men, and kind of when our emotions become overwhelming, we kind of mistreat our spouses or whatnot. Yes.
Very good. So we're going to take a quick break and watch some videos on all kinds of aspects of Guam's economy, hospitality, industry, capital improvements, and the airport, the Festival of the Pacific Arts, and then we'll pick up the conversation right up after the break. And so at this point, we're going to go to our videos.
Over the next few years, the economy of Guam will grow more than it ever has. The visitor industry will nearly double in size, and our ports are being enhanced and modernized for greater capacity. The improvements to our power and water supply will bring lower utility costs. U.S. military expansion will bring construction projects and federal jobs long-term. During this period of growth, the government will continue to work with partners from the private sector to promote Guam's unique culture, protect the environment, and improve the quality of life for everyone.
Guam tourism is at the front edge of a paradigm shift. We're about to make the transition from the last 50 years, turn the corner, and propel ourselves forward to levels that we have never seen before. It is exactly the perfect time to invest in Guam and to be in Guam right now.
Whether it's setting benchmarks for a growing economy, where it's an economy that is homegrown, and whether it's institutionalizing best practices in financial management. That was what I would call success.
We are on a roll with our capital improvement projects. Over the past couple of years, we have secured tens of millions of dollars in funds for our capital improvement projects, which include our expanded runway. We've also completed the installation of navigational aids to support both expanded runways. We brought a third fuel tank online, which increases our capacity to over 1 million gallons of jet fuel for our carriers. And soon we'll see a new state-of-the-art baggage handling system, which increases screening capacity and efficiency.
Many call it the Olympics of cultural events. Others have said it's the United Nations gathering of Pacific Islands. Some say it's the greatest assembly of culture, heritage, and the human spirit. The Festival of Pacific Arts has been bringing artists and cultural performers together from around the Pacific region since 1972. FestPac is the perpetuation of culture and traditions through the sharing and exchanging of practices and performances, from arts and crafts to dance and song to cuisine and dress. It's the celebration of what we all have in common and what makes us unique. Guam will be hosting the 12th Festival of Pacific Arts, bringing 27 Pacific Island nations together, placing our island at the center of this incredible event. Be a part of the largest cultural festival in Guam's history. Dinanya Sunido Siha Gita Pacifico. Let's make history, let's tell our story.
Welcome back. We're here in the lovely village of Mangilao, over here at the KGTF studios, live on PBS, on our local public broadcasting system station here on the beautiful island of Guam. Tonight we're holding a community discussion with quite a number of our high school students. We're going to be talking about the Imagine Guam project from the governor's office. It's a continuing conversation, and we're getting a lot of neat opinions from the young people present. And this is our third night of 3 nights that we're going to be talking about various issues that affect the future. And the Imagine Guam project is designed to look ahead 50 years in the future and try to plan today for a better Guam tomorrow. On this next half hour, we've been joined by an additional panelist, and I'd like to introduce Keone. Keone, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, my name's Keone Olifius. I'm from Father Duenas. I'm a senior there. I'm also the National Honor Society president. My parents are Veronica Regis and Carell Olifius. And just a quick shout out to Bank of Hawaii's Sugar Plum program. Just came from there, dropped off the toys for the school, so you got a good program going on there, so keep it up.
Very good. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for joining us. And certainly thank you to our audience, too. We're going to continue our questions, and we're going to start with Juan on this end. Juan, the first question we're going to deal with in this half hour is, how do you react or feel when someone in your family, that is your relatives or friends, hurts or betrays you?
Well, obviously there's always an immediate outcome from that, in which I feel kind of, or not always kind of, a lot, where I feel really bad or hurt from them. But suffering is only temporary, meaning the love that we had or the connections that we have will always find a way to heal itself in a way, if we put the effort into it.
Very good. Keone?
I think everyone would be hurt, especially from a family member, because that's someone that you love and then they love you back. But it's just mistakes are temporary, love is eternal. I don't mean to be corny, but that's really true. Family's forever. It's the best support group you got, so yeah, you rebuild those bonds.
Very good. Lazaro?
When you are hurt or betrayed by your family, it feels especially worse than if you're betrayed by someone else, because it's like you give so much trust to them, and you have you input all of this love and trust into the equation that is your family. And when someone's not giving it all, you just feel hurt. You feel like you're wasting a lot of your time. But just to echo off what Juan was saying, how it does find its way, it does heal itself in a way, if the love is really there.
Very good. Gian?
If a family hurts or betrays me, it's kind of really disappointing, because these are the people that I trusted and loved. And just by hurting you and betraying you, I think that's just a form of saying that, oh, you're not my family.
Very good. Roby?
That's a hard question to answer because I've been through a lot. So I've learned to tell myself that pain is just temporary and that having a forgiving heart will help you conquer a lot of situations such as this. And to me, trust is a big thing. So if you lose my trust, is basically you're going to have to work for it harder than before.
Very good. Martin?
I truly believe that no family, no matter how good of a family you are, no family is perfect. And I do believe that, every family has their own situations, everything that they go through on a daily basis, and this happens, all the time. No family is perfect, as I said. The first thing that I would do, if a loved one or someone, a friend, family member hurt me or did something wrong to me, like I said, communication is really key. And this, I believe, will resolve a lot of things. Communication is really a big key that opens many doors. And I do believe that if I communicate with that person, I ask the person, communicate with them, ask them, how can we resolve this? Why did you do this? I believe that those are some things that we can do that will really at least help us to create a better family. And I do believe that another thing that you can do to get through these events is always to confide with God. God is always there. He's always listening. I just pray and I ask the Lord God to forgive myself, to forgive the other people who have hurt me. And I ask God to just continue to strengthen our family. So number one is God, and number two is communication as well.
Thank you. Rocco?
I think it really depends on how bad they hurt you or what they do. Family's family, but I mean, if it's like a minor thing, then like siblings fight, family fights, friends fight. I have a friend named Matthew who's my family. We fight all the time, but I still love him. But then you have your family that, they really do hurt you a lot. And you can forgive them, but you start to wonder, then how can you call yourself my family if you keep doing this to me? Because yes, love is great, forgiving is great, but you can forgive someone, but forgiving someone and not letting them back in your family or not trusting them the same way is also another option. Because I mean, it's kind of like a relationship, a boyfriend and girlfriend. Let's say the boyfriend cheats on the girl one time. Okay, yeah, let's forgive him. Then he cheats on you 7 times. It's kind of time that you can forgive so much to where it's time that that person has to kind of find in themselves to make the change. It's not up to you anymore. It's up to them to realize that they're hurting you and that they need to be the one to make the change. So I think it all depends on really what they do and how bad they're doing it. Because if they keep on doing it, then I'm sorry, but they're really not your family. Even if they're your blood, someone who keeps on hurting you constantly and knows they're hurting you and they're not doing anything to make up for it, that's not your family.
Thank you, Rocco. Ethan?
So when we look at betrayal, it's really what do you yourself define as betrayal? Others will think it's boyfriend and girlfriend stuff. Other people would think it's, oh, you chose that cousin over me, and I'm your first cousin or your second cousin, or whatever it may be. But really, let me just tap on Martin's comment again. Forgiveness is really the key to a lot of family problems. And in religion, forgiveness is really a big thing. My God is very forgiving, and I believe that He's forgiving. So me, as a Catholic, I would learn to forgive and not try to forget, but try to help them not make the same mistake again.
Very good. Rochelle?
I'm usually shocked when they do hurt or betray me. I forgive them, and it usually fades away. But if it's something really big, it still follows me up to whenever. And when I think of it, I just, wow, why did you do that?
Sure. Thank you, Rochelle. Taylor?
For me, it really just depends on the intensity of the betrayal, if it's minor or if it's a major thing. And growing up, I learned, you never turn your back on family, no matter what they do. But sometimes, it depends on their decision that they made, to go against you. Like, they always say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, that's shame on me. Fool me the 3rd time, and that's not what you call family,
Very good. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go into another question, but I got a quick panel poll really quickly before we go into the next question. And you can just raise your hands. In general, in your own personal view, who do you tend to trust more, men or women? How many of you believe you trust women more than men? Raise your hands. Okay. How many of you trust men more than women? Raise your hands. You know, we did a poll a couple of weeks ago, and it was 78% women. Women were the more trusted. So our next question is kind of related to that. In ancient Chamorro society, women were in charge of the family. Do you think that they'll be in charge of your family? Or are they in charge of your family? How about that also? Let's start with Taylor down at the end.
In my family, yes, it would be the woman, because no matter what, since the beginning, my mother's the one that held me 9 months, and even though the father does go out and do most of the work, when they come home, it's always the woman that they depend on. When they come home, they want the house to be clean. They want the food to be cooked, you know? So no matter what, the woman will always be in charge. Doesn't matter what time or what era it is.
Very good. Rochelle?
I think the woman will always be in charge of my family, because every time you come home, you see the house is nice and there's a meal on the table for you, and after that you have to wash the dishes and make sure to keep the house clean.
Very good. Ethan?
So when we talk about ancient Chamorro society, I know Magahaga was the person to go to in ancient Chamorro society, not the Magalahi. And in my family, it's really the women that are in charge. The men are just like puppet dolls, puppet dolls for the women. You know, if you ask your dad something, he's gonna ask your mom first, or he's gonna tell you to ask your mom, and then they're gonna go back, and you're all gonna be stuck in a big bunch of mess. But it's the woman that's always in charge, and that's my mom, definitely.
Okay, good. Rocco?
Well, my mom's Italian, so she's kind of I'm kind of a mom's boy. So, but I wouldn't say that like she's like in charge of like the family though. I don't really think that was ancient Chamorro society. I think in our modern day society, I don't really think that I don't ever think about this question, because I think it's kind of up to you. I mean, both sides of the family can kind of contribute. That's what makes the family strong, that both parts of the family, the male and the woman, contribute to the family. I don't really think that it has anything really to do with genders. I sure there are some gender roles, you know, the stereotypical, the man goes out, woman stays home, cleans. But I mean, you know, it's just, I don't really think that really the gender roles really matter. I don't really think there's one gender that's really in charge of the family. I think it's a combined effort that makes a strong family.
Very good. Martin?
Yes, I totally agree with Rocco here. I wouldn't put a tag on either men or women, you know, mom or dad. In my family, the way I was raised in my household, it's really, the equation equals out. What can the woman do that you cannot? I mean, you know, my dad works. He works full time. You know, he still comes home, cleans, do the laundry. Mom does that as well, and I myself like to clean, wash dishes. So I mean, why can't we just help each other out? And I believe that that is actually the true, in my opinion, that's the true Chamorro culture, helping each other out. So I wouldn't say that the woman would be in charge or the man would be in charge. I would neutralize it, and I would say that why don't we all just help each other? And that's my belief.
Very good. Roby?
I believe that equality is the best case scenario in this situation. Sharing the high roles in both women and men will be great for the family. So 50-50, like sharing all the decision making and so on and so forth. And I've been asked so many times who wears the pants, but who really says who can't make the decisions together, right? But just letting you guys know that women are really crazy, so.
Gian? I'm sorry, excuse me. Yes, Gian, I'm sorry.
So based on my family, yes, my mom is the one in charge. She's the one that puts the food on the table. She's the one that cleans. She's the one we're all afraid of. So for example, just today, when I wanted to use the car, I was more afraid of asking her than asking my dad. So in my family, my mom is mostly the one in charge.
Very good. Lazaro?
What I find really interesting about ancient Chamorro society is that it's a real matrilineal society, meaning the mother is kind of really important. Not only is there a Magalahi, but as Ethan stated, there was also a Magahaga. And it's amazing how after 4,000 years of Spanish, Japanese, American influence, that matrilineal state of mind, that mindset is still here today. I know for a fact a lot of my friends are more scared of asking their mom something than asking their dad. And it's not just being afraid of them, but respecting them. They respect their opinions, their authority. And definitely when I grow up, I want my wife to have that same kind of, to feel that same kind of importance, you know?
Very good. Keone?
I truly believe that women can be in charge of the family. Just like everyone else here, it's like my mom also wears the pants. When my dad calls, I think like, oh, he's probably telling me something. But then when my mom calls, I get scared. Like, I'm like, okay, I probably like left the door open or something's gone wrong. But yeah, so I'm just saying this because women can be in charge of your family. It's possible. It's ultimately up to them. It's ultimately up to you to support that.
Very good. Juan?
I think in this day and age, sometimes we kind of break that conventional standing of the men leading the family or being in charge of the family. But it kind of varies with the situation. Some women are the single parent, and sometimes the men are the single parent. They take on both roles or they're in charge of everything. But in my opinion, the women will always be in charge. They're so powerful. There's so many things that the women can do that the men simply can't. You can be the toughest person in the world, but you'll always have a soft spot for your mother, in my opinion. Thank you.
Very good. You know, a few hundred years ago, a very famous Italian philosopher, Machiavelli, in his writing The Prince, and he's advising people on how to be good leaders. And the question was, is it better to be loved or feared? And his answer was, it's probably better to be feared. And I was afraid of my mother too, so we're in the same company. Absolutely. Let's talk about short answer format, about 30 seconds each. Let's talk about raising children, and all of you now are young adults. You'll have families soon, and so this is a neat topic to talk about. Is it important for both the mother and the father to help raise the kids, or what should the role of the grandparents be? And should gay couples be not allowed, but should we support gay couples when they raise their children also, and how could we help our society in those sorts of ways? So let's start over with Juan on this question.
Well, in raising your children, the mother and father, sometimes, like I said before, it's not always the case, single parents, etc. And even grandparents, I have friends that actually had their grandparents raise them for the earlier parts of their life. I too was also raised by my grandparents for a bit in my childhood up till I was 3 years old. The issue on gay couples and whatnot is kind of controversial in this day and age, especially with the decision for marriage that just got universalized in the United States. But we shouldn't be prejudiced towards that idea yet, or not even at all, actually, because we don't really understand the long term as of now, because right now it's just a phase in our society. We haven't passed it yet.
Okay, good. Keone?
I think I don't think it really matters who raises you, as long as they have the ability to educate you about society, community, and basic moral virtues. Because, maybe you don't have a mother and father, maybe your older sibling raised you or anything, but as long as they have the ability to educate you about life, then that's what's important.
Very good. Lazaro?
I think it is important for both the mother and a father to raise you, but grandparents, aunties, uncles, older siblings, they all really have an important role in your upbringing. They give you wisdom, advice, so they are also really important, and in some cases they do take the place of a mother and a father, and kids do turn out great from that. As for gay couples, there's nothing wrong with a gay couple, but when you're raising up a child, there's just something special about having a mother and a father. You don't just get a father, a male mentality of it, or a female mentality of it. You get a female and a male view of it. So I think that's something.
Very good. Gian?
Well, I think it is important for both mother and father to raise the kids, because they do come from different families and they have different experiences, and you can learn from all these experiences. But however, no matter if they're grandparents or they're gay couples, what matters most is what you're teaching your children.
Very good. Roby?
I mean, a mother and father raising kids, yes, that's great. But then sometimes some are independent single parents, and some are just raised by their aunties, uncles, and everything like that. So any adult that teaches you something that makes you a better person than who you are, I feel that they play a role in your life, such as a teacher, your Nina, your Nino, and so on. And what I'm going to say about the gay couples is, what can't a gay couple do that a straight couple can?
Okay, thank you. Martin?
Well, my opinion is basically linear to what the five here had already stated. Yes, it would be very ideal. I mean, at most, it would be the best to have both a mother and a father there to raise a child. It's what we are used to. It's what we have been brought up with. But the hard truth is that the hard truth is unfortunate. A lot of children have parents who have separated, parents who are divorced, and a lot of children basically don't even have parents at all. They have someone else caring for them, a guardian. And so I believe that, yes, it would be ideal for a mother and father, but as long as you have grandparents or an older sibling, a guardian, even couples who choose a gay lifestyle, I believe that as long as they have the love for the child and they are able to take care of the child and raise the child up in a very positive way with strong moral and family values, then I would not have a problem with that at all. And I do believe that in society right now, there's a lot of children, again, who don't have opportunities like the average child would. So I would again say that it really would not matter to me. But it's ideal for a mother and a father.
Very good. Rocco?
Earlier we were talking about how blood isn't everything for family, and I think that kind of ties in what I'm going to say. Family or parents, we're talking about, can the grandparents, can gay couples be the same as a mother and father? But who's to say that grandmother and that grandfather who's raising you isn't your mother or father? You hear things like, oh, he's a father figure to me. Oh, my teacher's a mother figure to me. I think a mother and father, just like your adopted parents, they're not really your blood-related parents, but they're still your mother and father. Your grandparents may not, have, given birth to you, but they're still, if they raised you, then they're practically your mother and father. If you're a gay couple and you raise them, you're still their father, father, mother, mother. But still, they raised you, and that's, mother and father isn't just, the birthing parent. It's whoever really raises you and gives you your morals and, loves you properly.
Very good. Ethan?
So, the question was about a mother and a father and grandparents and gay couples, right? So, I think it's important for a mother and a father to raise a child, but really, who's to say that your grandparents can't do it or a gay couple cannot do it, It would be nice to have a mother and a father, but if you grow up with a gay couple, then that's fine. As long as, the values are there, the priorities are there, everything that you need to succeed in life is there, then that's fine with me. Grandparents, I know on Guam there's a lot of us that get dropped off to our grandparents' house, go help clean the yard and stuff, cut the grass and stuff like that. But, man, I love my grandparents, and if they can raise my parents correctly, then they can sure as well raise me good too. So.
Very good. Rochelle?
I think it is important for whoever is your mother or father figure to raise you, because you have to create a relationship with a child.
Very good. Taylor?
To me, I believe that it doesn't matter who raises you, but I do believe that both parents should make an effort to be a part of that child's life, And as for grandparents, I do believe that they can also be your parents too, And they've been there and they've done that, and I feel like grandparents are awesome, but it would feel special, to the child if both gave an effort.
Very good. All right, so this pretty much wraps up our second half hour, and we're going to go into another break with some wonderful videos, and then we'll be right back after the break to further our discussion. Please stay tuned with us and catch us right after our break. Thank you.
Over the next few years, the economy of Guam will grow more than it ever has. The visitor industry will nearly double in size, and our ports are being enhanced and modernized for greater capacity. The improvements to our power and water supply will bring lower utility costs. U.S. military expansion will bring construction projects and federal jobs long-term. During this period of growth, the government will continue to work with partners from the private sector to promote Guam's unique culture, protect the environment, and improve the quality of life for everyone.
Guam tourism is at the front edge of a paradigm shift. We're about to make the transition from the last 50 years, turn the corner, and propel ourselves forward to levels that we have never seen before. It is exactly the perfect time to invest in Guam and to be in Guam right now.
Whether it's setting benchmarks for a growing economy, where it's an economy that is homegrown, and whether it's institutionalizing best practices in financial management. That was what I would call success.
We are on a roll with our capital improvement projects. Over the past couple of years, we have secured tens of millions of dollars in funds for our capital improvement projects, which include our expanded runway. We've also completed the installation of navigational aids to support both expanded runways. We brought a third fuel tank online, which increases our capacity to over 1 million gallons of jet fuel for our carriers. And soon we'll see a new state-of-the-art baggage handling system, which increases screening capacity and efficiency.
Many call it the Olympics of cultural events. Others have said it's the United Nations gathering of Pacific Islands. Some say it's the greatest assembly of culture, heritage, and the human spirit. The Festival of Pacific Arts has been bringing artists and cultural performers together from around the Pacific region since 1972. FestPac is the perpetuation of culture and traditions through the sharing and exchanging of practices and performances, from arts and crafts to dance and song to cuisine and dress. It's the celebration of what we all have in common and what makes us unique. Guam will be hosting the 12th Festival of Pacific Arts, bringing 27 Pacific Island nations together, placing our island at the center of this incredible event. Be a part of the largest cultural festival in Guam's history. Dinanya Sunidu Siha Gita Pacificu. Let's make history, let's tell our story.
Welcome back. Here we are at KGTF Studios, part of the public broadcasting system for Guam. My name is Ron McNinch, and we're continuing our conversation on our wonderful discussions with these young people. This is the excuse me. This is the Imagine Guam project, and we're continuing our conversation on a variety of topics. And tonight's center topic is on the family. And we'll continue some of our questions. In general, we're here as part of a visioning process to discuss the next 50 years for Guam and what Guam's going to look like in the next 50 years. So at this point, we'll go right back into some questions. We have a question: how does the media affect the family? And we can talk about the media in a broad sense. How does images from the media or news media, do you think the news media helps family values or hurts family values, or do you think it just doesn't matter? That is, with or without the media, it wouldn't matter. And so for this question, let's start down with Taylor. Taylor?
To me, I think it really just depends on what's on the media and who sees it. Because for some people, like, for example, knock on wood, when someone loses a loved one, and other people see it, even when I see it, I feel kind of hurt, because I know how it feels to lose someone that I really love. And I think that it really just depends on what's on the media, pretty much.
Very good. Rochelle?
I think it makes no difference because, as we all said, family comes first all the time.
Okay, Ethan?
Well, like what Taylor said, it really depends on what's on the media and like how big of an impact is it. I mean, it could be something so small, something so big where you just have so much things you're thinking about, like all your family members are thinking about. So it's a broad question, but really it just depends what's on the media. So.
Okay, Rocco?
Yeah, I think it does depend what's on the media. The only time, I don't really think it does make much of a difference, but, a couple weeks ago when the Paris attacks went on, it kind of brought my family a little closer together. Just in those 2 days after that, it was kind of a sad time for our family. And also when they're covering, governor or presidential, election, I wouldn't say like it increases our values, but it gets us together, But I wouldn't say it really damages us as a family, and makes us go out and do crazy things, or makes us go out. But I don't really think it has much of a difference.
Okay, thank you. Martin?
Well, it's definitely difficult for me to say that it benefits the family, or rather than saying it hurts the family, because it really can go both ways. But I believe that furthermore, it's what the media it's not what the media presents, it's what they add to it to increase, I guess, their business. So I wouldn't say that it hurts families because it can be very beneficial for families on our island and across the world. So I'm going to stay neutral, and I'm not going to say that it benefits us or it hurts us. I'll stay neutral for now.
Very good. Roby?
In most cases, to me, that I believe that media hurts the family because you see movies and images of families being all together and all happy. Not all families are like that. It makes it seem that we have to be those people, be as happy as those people to make our family perfect. I don't really know how to explain it, but it shows that we have to be who they are to have that level of acceptance, to have that solid foundation of the family, which I believe hurts most families because they're like, oh, we have to be like them in order for us to be happy. Oh, we have to be like them in order for us to be successful and communicate as well as them. So I believe that media kind of hurts us.
Okay. Gian?
Like the others said, I think media really depends on what's being portrayed. If it's something positive, then it would benefit the family, and likewise. So it really depends what the media portrays.
Okay. Lazaro?
I feel that media can help and hurt family values, but more recently it's done a pretty good job in hurting family values. Media, especially now, promotes like things like instant gratification, personal satisfaction over the true values like trust, cooperation, communication between family members.
Keone?
I think when we talk about the news, I don't think that makes a difference to the family setting because the news doesn't usually highlight the family. It focuses more on like worldly issues, politics, and stuff like that. So pertaining to the news media, I don't think it makes a difference to the family.
Okay. Juan?
Well, the media has the potential to hurt or benefit the family in a way. Children are very impressionable, so whenever they hear something or think about an idea, it kind of sticks with them for a long time. But I would say that it doesn't really make a significant difference because, in my opinion, family values will always take priority above all the things that we hear, even though we do think about it sometimes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sir, can I ask?
You have a follow-up? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was thinking, I don't think it's so much news media that really is as big of an effect on our family values here. I think it's more of like pop media. A lot of people in Guam, there's a lot of people in Guam who haven't been outside of Guam. They haven't been to the States. So their view of the world is through like hip-hop music videos and like that pop culture. So they end up thinking that, that's what it's like in the States. Sometimes especially through hip-hop, they think that's what it's like to, act like a gangster and stuff. And I think that kind of ends up hurting some family values because people try to reciprocate that attitude. And I think that's what ends up hurting family behavior.
Very good. Thank you. All right, let's move on to our next question. Let's talk a little bit about welfare and entitlements. In general, there's a view that welfare is kind of generational. That is, it's passed down from generation to generation now. What do you think is needed to break the cycle of poverty, or where do you think we could start to solve some of the problems so that people will not need things like public assistance or welfare as much anymore? And maybe we can start with Roby on this one.
Okay, so welfare and entitlements. You can break the cycle anytime you want. You can also start wherever and whenever you want. It's just all up to you, honestly. To be honest, my family used to be under welfare. And in order for me to break out of the cycle, I got my own job, I became independent. I'm joining the Army because we're less fortunate, so I can afford college now, they're paying for it. So I'm not saying do what I'm doing. I'm just saying do what you can, achieve all your goals, and if you want to break the cycle, then you can.
Very good. Gian?
Sometimes they say like you have to follow your family's footsteps, but that's not the case when it comes to like welfare or entitlements. And I think that we shouldn't really depend on these, and more so just take the initiative and be better than who we are. And if our family members do believe in us, then they'll be there supporting us every step of the way. And just like Roby said, I come from like an unfortunate family, and what I do is I'm really trying to focus on the education, and I'm trying to get as much scholarships as I can because I'm a high school senior, and just make sure that my parents don't really have to pay for my college.
Thank you. Lazaro?
I feel that poverty is a really big problem, especially now, because a lot of the wealthier population feel that it's their problem and not their own. They feel it's the poor people's problem, when in actuality, the greatest way to break the cycle is by realizing that the the better or more rich population, more prosperous population, has that responsibility to help the lesser brothers. If we simply just go out and break that barrier by helping them out in any way we can, sharing what we have, that's one of the best ways we can break that cycle.
Very good. Keone?
I think breaking the cycle of poverty all starts with the education. I feel like parents don't push education enough, especially at the young age, like the most impressionable age, because we need to be an intellectual society, because that's when we become smarter, we become educated, we think of new ways to break these kinds of cycles. And we also need to just get this mentality that just because we're from an island, that we're limited. We're not limited. There's so many opportunities now. It's a new generation. It's all up to us. Go find that. And then I think when everyone in the community starts to do that, then we'll finally break the cycle.
Thank you. Juan?
Well, welfare has been an issue, especially with the amount of people receiving welfare in significant amounts. Personally, I think the welfare state can be crippling on the society. In my opinion, there are people that really need aid, and the government shouldn't abandon them on aid. But there are also people that take advantage of it, and they do remain idle, and they don't want to pursue anything higher than that. There's a problem on Guam, and in breaking the cycle, you have to understand how to balance proper wages, for example, and the standards of living on the island. Because many people, for example, if you live above the poverty line, not only do you get reduced welfare, but you get minimal pay as well. So it's hard to balance that. And that's what we need to figure out too.
Thank you. Martin?
I believe that here on the island of Guam, poverty is something that has established itself, and it has really grown since then. A lot of families on the island rely on food stamps, public housing, and all these types of welfare that they are receiving from the government. I feel that the government can do more they can do more by giving less. They need to go on a case-by-case basis. Let's say a family of a husband and wife and their children need food stamps. The government should give them the food stamps, but only to a certain limit. Give them a certain time, let's say a year or two, and after that, see where they have gotten in life, how they have grown. Are they getting jobs? Are they doing the best that they can do to do the best on their own for their family? So the government should really look into this and give this key to the families out there who live in poverty, so that they can push themselves and they won't rely more on the government than on their own selves. And no family on the island, I believe, is perfect. No family is perfect. There are families who rely on these things, and I just feel that there's more that the government can do to motivate these people to push themselves. Because who doesn't need food? Who wants to take food off the table? Who wants to take the roof away over the heads of the children? But I feel that there's just more that the government can do to assess how the food stamps and the public housing is given, so that people don't take advantage of these benefits, but they, push themselves even more so that they can get above that level and provide the best thing that they can on their own for their family without having to rely on the government of Guam.
Very good. Rocco?
Well, before I start, I want to say I don't know the numbers for welfare and stuff, so I don't really know the in-depth stuff. But I will say I think first of all, there are some people who are poor, and then there are people who do, I think, take advantage of the system. I mean, I remember at St. John's, our church cooks for the homeless every Wednesday night, and last year there were these people who came in and they were getting mad that our food wasn't ready, and they were saying they were homeless, and they left early because they were mad because it wasn't ready, but they got in their new Toyota Mazda, and I thought, and especially a lot of the people who are begging on the streets. My uncle asked one of them one time, why don't you get a job? And he says, I make more money here. And so I think some of it does start on self-reliance and self-attitude. I think some people just, some people do this because it is the easy way out, and but there are some people who are poor and do need it. But as for how to stop it, I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you. Ethan?
So when we talk about entitlement and welfare, right? You're talking about a problem that has progressed from something that was so small, since World War II. The intent was good then. Now, I believe it's beginning to get out of control. How we can fix it, it's going to take a long time. And I know this because you cannot just solve a problem like this big in a matter of years. It's probably take a decade to solve, What I think is important for us to stop this now is to have a rebirth in our education system, have a renaissance, get this stuff out. Like, let's deal with it for now until we get our new leaders in, educate them correctly, educate the youth, so in the future they know how to stop this, and they will have the tools and all the necessities to solve these problems. Right now we just have to prep and have the youth now get ready for the problem solving.
Very good. Rochelle?
Can I have something time
Oh,
to think?
Okay, Taylor?
I also agree that the government or whoever's in charge of the welfare do need to spend more time looking into these cases, because although there are people that need it, there are also people that think that it's the easy way out and they don't need to find a job. And they also feel like, if they keep getting this, they don't have to work as hard as they need to be, and they don't have to go out and be independent, I guess, and they rather prefer to have other people work for them than for them to do the work themselves.
Very good. Very nice answers, students. And in fact, poverty is something that is always with every society. Some people call poverty a function of society. That is, in any society in the world, we're going to have poverty, and that's pretty much a continuous issue in all societies. Okay, let's move on to our next question. But I got a quick and short question, and that is, right now, the technology available to young people today is very different than the technology that was available to their parents. Their parents didn't have smartphones and everything else. And this is a short answer, just a yes or no in a sentence kind of answer. Do you think that technology helps or hurts families? That is, smartphones and texting. What do you think? Yes or no? Does technology help or hurt? And let's start with Martin on this one.
That is a very difficult question because, as like the other question, it can go many ways. But I would have to say that technology would actually help families, especially families who live far apart from each other, families who live overseas. Without technology, we wouldn't be able to communicate with them, which is something that I said is the key to a good and healthy family. Without technology, we won't be able to learn new things. Without technology, we won't be able to have a better source of communication, because we're not always going to be face-to-face with our family members. We're not always going to be together. So I believe that technology in a way is beneficial to families because technology gives us a stronger source of communication.
Great. And so technology helps or hurts, then about a sentence, about 10 words. Rocco?
Oh, bummer. 10 words. It goes both ways. I mean, it can go both ways. Technology's like any other system, has its good and bads. My cousin Pittsburgh, I remember when I go to see her once a year. She's always on her phone, so I barely talk to her. But then again, it's good to use technology to call my grandparents across the world. So I don't really think it's so much the technology. I think it's the people using the technology and using the technology. I think it's those people who aren't really, it's their fault, not so much the technology's fault. It's their fault not trying to communicate with one another. They're the ones neglecting that aspect of a family.
Okay, Ethan?
Like Rocco said, everything in this world can hurt and can do bad things and do good things. And with technology, as the world evolves, it has its pros and its cons. So it really depends on, like what Rocco said, the people who use it and how they use it. So.
Okay, Rochelle?
I think it helps families because, like what Martin said, you can let your relative who's maybe in Korea know what's going on here on Guam.
Okay, Taylor?
I also agree that it really just depends on the intention of the person other than the technology, because for some people, they use it for their work and more important things like family values and everything, while other people, just use it for social media and rumors and recording fights, I guess.
Okay, Roby?
I think it's both good and bad to have technology. The bad part about it is that when you're with your family, please put the electronics down. You're right in front of them. Communicate. It's better to live the moments than to capture them.
Okay, Jim?
Yeah, at the same time, or same thing, I think technology goes both ways. It can be both positive and negative. Positively, like what Martin said, we could communicate with our family members away from us, but negatively, sometimes we also focus more on social media and we forget to spend time with our family and just strengthen our bonds with them.
Okay, Lazaro?
I feel that technology, especially in recent years, has done an extremely great job in helping families, help them communicate, just not here, but also communicate families all over the world.
Very good. Keone?
I think it actually hurts families. I don't think we've found a balance yet with technology and also communication by the mouth. Texting shouldn't replace speaking. So.
Okay, Juan?
Technology will only hurt the family when it prevents us actually from connecting on a more personal level.
Okay, thank you. So we have some really short answer. We have a short answer question. We have 5 values, and the 5 values are good health, education, attitude of self-reliance, respect, and ajuda, which is helping one another. And we'll be working on that question in just a moment. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break again and watch a wonderful video, and we'll be right back after the half hour. Thank you.
Over the next few years, the economy of Guam will grow more than it ever has. The visitor industry will nearly double in size, and our ports are being enhanced and modernized for greater capacity. The improvements to our power and water supply will bring lower utility costs. U.S. military expansion will bring construction projects and federal jobs long-term. During this period of growth, the government will continue to work with partners from the private sector to promote Guam's unique culture, protect the environment, and improve the quality of life for everyone.
Guam tourism is at the front edge of a paradigm shift. We're about to make the transition from the last 50 years, turn the corner, and propel ourselves forward to levels that we have never seen before. It is exactly the perfect time to invest in Guam and to be in Guam right now.
Whether it's setting benchmarks for a growing economy, where it's an economy that is homegrown, and whether it's institutionalizing best practices in financial management. That was what I would call success.
We are on a roll with our capital improvement projects. Over the past couple of years, we have secured tens of millions of dollars in funds for our capital improvement projects, which include our expanded runway. We've also completed the installation of navigational aids to support both expanded runways. We brought a third fuel tank online, which increases our capacity to over 1 million gallons of jet fuel for our carriers. And soon we'll see a new state-of-the-art baggage handling system, which increases screening capacity and efficiency.
Many call it the Olympics of cultural events. Others have said it's the United Nations gathering of Pacific Islands. Some say it's the greatest assembly of culture, heritage, and the human spirit. The Festival of Pacific Arts has been bringing artists and cultural performers together from around the Pacific region since 1972. FestPac is the perpetuation of culture and traditions through the sharing and exchanging of practices and performances, from arts and crafts to dance and song to cuisine and dress. It's the celebration of what we all have in common and what makes us unique. Guam will be hosting the 12th Festival of Pacific Arts, bringing 27 Pacific Island nations together, placing our island at the center of this incredible event. Be a part of the largest cultural festival in Guam's history. Dinanya Sunidu Siha Gita Pacificu. Let's make history, let's tell our story.
Welcome back. Here we are at the KGTF studios in the beautiful village of Mangilao as part of the Guam Public Broadcasting System's effort to promote ideas under the Imagine Guam project, a project sponsored by Governor Eddie Baza-Calvo. We're here tonight talking to quite a number of young people about their views of various aspects of the future. The purpose of the Imagine Guam project is to vision what the future is going to be like 50 years from now and try to get some of our ideas down today related to that. On behalf of the Imagine Guam project, we wanted to give special thanks to Dial Rent to Own. They loaned us a 32-inch monitor here tonight for us to work with, and it's been a great help. And their donation is greatly appreciated for this purpose, and I just wanted to give a shout out to them on that. Also, as is the tradition in our last half hour, we ask each student to maybe give a quick 10 to 15 second shout out to everyone they'd like to shout out to. So we'll start down with Taylor on this end.
I'd like to make a shout out to all my family and friends, my Chalus, my IG family, and Noah for being my only crowd member here. Love you guys, and thanks for the support.
Very good. Rochelle?
I would like to give a shout out to my friends and family.
Okay. Ethan?
A quick shout out to everyone that is watching this. Thank you for taking out your time and watching us.
Great. Rocco?
I don't really have anything to say for my shout out.
Okay.
I would like to give a shout out to my mom, Madeline Borja, my father, Michael Borja, my grandma, Lourdes Borja of Inarajan, and my grandpa, Martin Borja of Inarajan, my brothers and sisters. You guys know who you are. My family of Southern High School, Miss De Vera, English 10 Honors Class. I would like to give a shout out also to my family at Southern Christian Academy. Ray Rosario, thank you for giving me advice about tonight, and also Emmy. And for those of you guys who I did not shout out, I love you guys all, and I thank you all for your support, and I'm so sorry that I'm not able to mention your name tonight.
Very good. Roby?
I just wanted to shout out my family, my friends, SBA, ProStar, Legacy, and E-Fi Nalayan, and whoever else I haven't mentioned. I'm so sorry. Hafa Aday and happy holidays.
Very good. Gian?
Shout out to all my family and friends. Hi, Mom, and hi, Dad. Shout out to our SSHS National Honor Society, our SSHS SBA, and of course, every Shark member, every Shark family. So I hope you guys all have a good weekend.
Great. Lazaro?
Shout out to my family, my papa watching. Also shout out to Gino Aquino, who came with us to support us. Also shout out to my Guam Studies teacher, Mr. Anthony Blas.
Very good. Keone?
Yeah, shout out to my mom. I think she's watching. And shout out to FDE. Yeah, I know you guys told me to come here. I was a little hesitant, but it's actually pretty fun. So.
Great. Juan?
Once again, I'd like to make a shout out to my mom, my dad. Thank you, school, faculty, Father Jeff, Mr. Thompson, Temo, and most importantly, Ms. Jameson. Thank you.
Very good. All right. You know, tonight we're talking about the family, and we're talking about all kinds of neat dynamics for families. And on our first night, we talked about quite a wide range of topics, including family and elders and things. And tonight we're going to wrap up our discussion this next half hour along the same theme and the same lines. But for our first question tonight, there's a question under ranking the values. So we have 5 values, and we'd like each student to basically rank their top value and their least important value from this group of 5 values. And the 5 values are good health, education, attitude for self-reliance, respect, and then ajuda, which is helping one another. And we'll ask Taylor. Taylor, tell us your top value and your lowest value on that list of 5.
Well, for number 1, being the most important, I think attitude of self-reliance, and then respect, ajuda, education, and good health.
Okay. And so good health is the lowest. All right. Okay. Rochelle?
I think respect is number 1, and then everything else will just fall into its place.
Okay. Ethan?
I do also think respect is number 1. Education, number 2. Good health, number 3. Azuda, number 4. And self-reliance, number 5.
Okay. Rocco?
Education's number 1, and the rest of it's all number 2. Because I mean, if you have a good education, you get self-reliance, you get respect, or you learn respect, you learn good health, you learn how to help one another out. So, if you have a great education, then you can learn all those things.
Okay, Martin?
It's very, very hard for me to categorize this from numbers 1 through 5. I'm very sorry that I have to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and do so. Anyways, respect would be number 1. Ajuda will be number 2. Education will be number 3. Good health will be number 4, and attitude of self-reliance will be number 5. And the reason why I put respect as the first and foremost is because if you respect yourself and you respect others, then you can move on to helping others, helping yourself. And when you help yourself, you can educate yourself and get education. And also good health is always important. And then attitude of self-reliance comes as the last category that I've categorized.
Very good. Thank you. Roby?
I'll just keep this short and simple. Respect is my number 1. It is basically the core of all 5. So without it, the rest wouldn't really matter.
All right. Gian?
Just the same thing. I think respect is the most important because everything falls into place once you have respect.
All right. Lazaro?
I feel that respect would be my number 1. Not just respect for each other, but also respect for yourself. And just my number 5 would be education. You don't need to be smart to have a good family.
Okay, Keone?
Rank number 1, I think education. I think educated individuals have the potential to be great individuals. And my 5th one would be probably attitude of self-reliance, because you have a family. That's your best support unit. Don't forget that. Stay in school.
Okay, Juan?
Well, education is always number 1 priority, especially because education is the greatest tool we have in shaping our conscience and all that. But my least would be attitude of self-reliance. I don't see that in my values.
Very good. All right. It's always neat. And by the way, there's probably 100 other values we could put up there. Some of them there might be even more important values that aren't even on the list. And so certainly that's to be expected also. And let's ask a Manamco question. Our elders, our first night we talked a lot about elders, and our elders here on Guam are extremely important to us. In your own family, who should, and this is a kind of question you can describe, and we'll start over on this side with Juan. And the question is, for Manamco, who should care for the Manamco? Should your family care for your grandparents, or should they be put in a home? And let's extend it down. What about your own parents? When your parents get older, would you prefer to care for them or have them put into another environment? Can you tell us your ideas about how we should care for and serve our Manamco? Juan?
Well, in the Chamorro culture, the Manamco are always placed at a higher importance. And I never really see it on Guam where we put them in a shelter or, a home for caring for them. Because there's always an obligation for us to help our elders like that. And even my grandpa, he actually lived with me for the majority of my life. He taught me a lot of things. I love you, Grandpa. And basically, I don't see that. I don't see us abandoning them or putting them somewhere else because we know them more than anyone else. And it's better that way, that we take care of them and whatnot.
Okay, Keone?
I think we should always take care of the elderly, because if we don't, then who will? But that question about shelter homes and all that, if that's the way you think is best to take care of them, or if you're unable to take care of them yourself, then I fully support that, and everyone else should.
Okay, Lazaro?
I feel that the manamku, the responsibility falls upon the family, the people that come from the manamku to take care of them as they're old. They're the ones that helped you grow up. They're the ones that raised you. So why shouldn't you be the one to also help them in their time of need?
Okay, Gian?
Just a few weeks ago, I went to St. Dominic's to do this service, and we were helping out the Monamku. We were feeding them, we were entertaining them, and it was kind of disappointing to see that they were abandoned and that they didn't have a family. And what I think it's more important is that we show them that we love them and that we wouldn't abandon them. So what's more important is that families take care of the Monamku.
Okay, Roby?
To me, I believe that it's not. I don't really support elderly homes because I wouldn't want to see any of my family in there, because like Gian said, they're kind of neglected there. They're kind of forgotten. They're never really visited, and I wouldn't want to see that. I believe that I should give back to my parents, to whoever has done stuff for me, because they raised me. They didn't abandon me in some type of home, and for my parents, as long as they're happy wherever they are, maybe in the Philippines, maybe here, who knows, wherever they are happy, I just fully support them, and I'll just care for them as much as I can.
Very good. Martin?
Thank you very much for this very important question. It really hurts my heart, puti corazon, when I hear that, when I see family, manamku, when I see manamkus in elderly homes or being cared for by caregivers, it really does hurt me, and I reflect and I ask myself, why aren't the family members there to help their families? Why did they abandon their manamku and manyay na niha? I'm very hurt because, think about it, when you were a child, when you were a baby, when you were an infant, who cared for you? It was your mom, it was your dad, it was your guardians, and it was the people who are now manamkus. They cared for you. They put food on your table. They helped you when you were ill. They took you to get proper treatment. They fed you. They helped you when you needed help. So think of it now, when our manamku gets older, when our grandparents get older or our parents get older, they are basically falling back into that track as becoming like a baby. Their health is deteriorating. They're not going to be as healthy as they were before. So I believe that it's now our duty as their children. If I'm going to I believe that we should now step up to the plate and do what they did for us, and we should give it back to them. And now it's the time for us to care for them and to basically to give thanks to them for all that they have done for us. I see my dad, my grandparents are not getting any younger. They're becoming ill. They cannot do what they used to do before. So my dad, my mom, goes back to them, does their yard for them, cooks for them, helps them out. And this is exactly what I would do if any family member of mine, or if my mom or dad would ever be into that situation. I would care for them, and I would put down whatever I had, and I would step up to the plate and give back to them, for they have given so much to me and my family. So that's what I felt about Menamkus.
Thank you. Rocco?
Yes. Well, my grandma back in Pittsburgh, she's ill, and our family knows it, and my grandfather takes care of her. But whenever we're in town, we're always taking care of her, and also my uncles, my aunties over there, they all work together to help them because they don't really have much money, so they throw in their money from their work to make sure they can pay for their house and stuff because they don't have the jobs. So I think it's definitely important to support our elderly because that's where we come from. We look at our mother and fathers like that's where we came from, but really our family started through our grandparents. And so they're really the real parents of our family as a whole. And so they love us, and like any strong family, we have a duty to carry out, and that is to love them and take care of them when they need it. And not just, your grandparents, but any relative who's old and is suffering and needs that help. It's our duty as their family and as their loved ones to give them what they need and help them out when they need it.
Thank you. Ethan?
I totally agree with the rest of you. Our elders raised us, so it's our time to give back to them, because we don't know how much time and effort they have put into our lives, because ever since we were a kid, we can hardly remember when we first got our diaper changed or whatever they did for us. But the idea of knowing them for so long and knowing that they love you and you love them for so long, it makes you want to give back to them. So I believe we should give back to them, and we should not forget about them, because they never forgot about us.
Thank you. Rochelle?
In my family, nobody gets left behind. So we don't put anybody in the old people homes. But if you think family's always supposed to be there for you, you would want to do the same for them. So.
Very good. Taylor?
I believe that everybody should take care of them namku. Where I come from, that's not even a question. Like, they've been through everything, and they've done all they can to support us when we were growing up, and I don't see why we should leave them behind or disrespect them just by leaving them and forgetting about them. I believe that everyone has to, and it's a must, to take care of them namku.
Very good. Thank you very much, students, for these very nice answers. All right, let's continue on our conversation, and let's ask another kind of question. This is the holiday season. We're coming up on Christmas and New Year's in the next month, and this is a time of reflection. New Year's are always a time for us to look back on what we've done and look forward to the future. And in fact, this visioning process for Imagine Guam is a 50-year visioning process, and so it's good to discuss reflection questions. In your own life, if you can think of one person you're mad at or who's hurt you, would you give this person a Christmas gift? And if you gave them a Christmas gift, what would that gift be? So maybe we can start with Roby.
Okay, so to me, no matter what they did to hurt me, it could be something really big, it could be something very small, I will never wish any bad upon them. So by saying this, I will give them a Christmas gift, nothing materialistic, but basically my forgiveness, my friendship, my love, and basically pure happiness that I wish upon them, that I want them to be happy no matter what, whether it's with me in their life or not.
Thank you. Gian?
I think that forgiveness is a very big thing, and we should forgive one another. And what's better is the person learn from their mistakes, and the best gift you could give someone is just the friendship itself and forgiving them.
Very good. Lazaro?
In my religion, Roman Catholicism, we have this belief that you should love thy neighbor as you love thyself. So during the Christmas time, of course, I'd give that person a gift. I sure would like one. A person that's hurt me or made me mad, the best gift I'd give them is the gift of forgiveness. I wouldn't just close that door on them, but I'd open myself up to them, offer them that chance, because if I was in any situation hurting someone, I'd sure like an opportunity to make up for that.
Very good. Keone?
I remember, I think it was like 2 Christmases ago, maybe one. Got into a big fight with my brother. That's the usual, but this one was pretty massive. But, I still got him a Christmas gift. Christmas is the season of giving. And you have to think in the back of your head that that might be the last Christmas that you spend with that person you're mad at. So always live at the moment and always forgive. And actually what I got him, he needed board shorts, so I got him board shorts. So, be the better man.
Very good. Juan?
This situation doesn't really apply to me right now, but it is bound to happen eventually. But when I think of someone that hurts me, I know that love is still there. Love is always going to be there. Even when we say we hate, hate is just misshapen love. It's love that is deprived of what is necessary. But if I was to give a Christmas gift in that sense, it would be something sentimental, something that we both know is related to our lives and our relationships together, like that.
Very good. Thank you. Martin?
Yes, of course, this happens to families across the board. There are people who hurt us. There are people who tear us down. There are people who bring slander to our name. But the only thing that I would give to that person, I would give them the forgiveness. I would forgive them in my heart, of course. But I would also give them the salvation of our Lord God, Jesus Christ. I would pray to our Lord God that he continues to heal them and make them better people. I would pray that he just brings peace throughout our family, peace throughout our island, and peace throughout our global nation and our world. And I just pray that one day those people who have hurt others would finally realize that what they're doing is wrong. And I'm just going to continue to leave it up to the Lord our God, pray for them, leave it up to him, because I believe that the Lord God will always do his best. People have hurt him and he has forgiven them by the gift of salvation. So if Jesus Christ suffered and still forgave his people, then I don't see any problem with forgiving someone who has hurt me or my family.
Rocco?
It depends who they are and what they did to you. You know, if it's a friend, you know, and they made a mistake, yeah, they're your friend, they're your family. You know, if it's minor, you know, you get over it. But you know, if it's a person who's really like an evil person, you know, they're actually like, you know, messed up, then I'm not gonna say like I'm not gonna forgive them, because I'm not gonna try to start anything with that person. It's Christmas time. It is time for love. But I'm not going to go out of my way to get that person like a materialistic present. If they want, you know, if they want my forgiveness and they're sorry, then yeah, I'll give them my forgiveness. But to go out of my way and, you know, give them a present, materialistic present, especially if they really hurt me or done me wrong, and they're not really even my family or close to me, then I wouldn't really say the need for it. I'd rather just focus my present and focus on my love, on the people who do love me and do care for me. But like I said, if they're willing to offer that forgiveness in Christmas time, then of course I'll accept it.
Ethan?
If I had someone hurt me or a group of people that hurt me, I would just, like what Martin said and some of the others said, that you know, just have to pray that hopefully he will forgive them, or whoever our God is, you know, they forgive them and we forgive them. And hopefully that's good enough. But me, I would probably give them a gift, you know. Any gift, it's just the thought that counts. So.
Very good. Rochelle?
I agree with Lazaro. Always love your neighbors, so my gift would be love.
Okay. Taylor?
I also believe in forgiveness, and I also believe that everyone does deserve a second chance, but sometimes it does depend on the minority, or, you know, if the pain was that they caused or their mistake was a major mistake. Because you could make a mistake and be forgiven, but how do you make a big mistake and expect someone to forgive you at that moment, you know? So it really just depends on their mistake, and if someone does hurt me, I would forgive them, but depending on what they did would tell what the gift they would get. I would just wish everyone the best, and hopefully they don't do the same mistake again.
Very good. Well, students, thank you so much tonight. We're going to wrap up tonight's discussion. This was a very fast 2 hours. Thank you, Imagine Guam, for allowing us to share our opportunity. Thank you to Dial Rent to Own for loaning us very important equipment for this. And thank you, KGTF and the Guam Public Broadcasting System, and all of our wonderful supporters. Public television works because of corporate sponsors and our on-island giving, and we greatly appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful opportunity to discuss. We look forward to having a lot more discussion opportunities, and we greatly appreciate these young high school students for sharing their opinions with us tonight, and thank you very much.